Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Burning Cinema, the show where nostalgia has a second chance and we revisit the movies that shaped our past. If you've been with us before, then you know the drill. If not, then get ready to dive headfirst into a piece of cinema history. I'm your host, Ross, and joining me, as always, is my good friend and co-host, Tom. Tom, well, here we are.
We're back.
We are back, and we're back for a new theme as we step into what we like to call franchise fatigue. And we'll be asking ourselves, have we had enough of some of these films? Have we been slowly shriveling down into a small nutshell because we're tired of the number of sequels, the number of chapters, whatever it might be in this franchise? And do we want to get off this roller coaster of sameness? That's all I'll say.
Or, indeed, do these films keep the franchise burning bright? Are we liking them?
They might be. So they might be good, they might be bad, and that's the whole point of the podcast. And as I say, this is franchise fatigue, and we start with a new film. And what have you got for us, Tom?
Well, we've got some fast cars, we've got a lot of family, some Corona, some shouting. It can only be the Fast and Furious franchise, and we're starting with Furious 7.
Dominic Toretto, you don't know me. You're about to.
Looks like the sins of London have followed us home.
Remember Owen Shaw? This is his big bad brother.
We're being hunted. One last ride.
Get low when the whistle go.
Now we talking. Daddy's gotta go to work. This is a world that doesn't play by your rules.
Fast and Furious 7, or is it Furious 7? I'm not really
It's
quite
Furious
sure.
7.
Furious 7.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mixture, isn't there, of names. But for everybody knows, it's the Fast and Furious series, and this is a seventh outing of our friends of the motorcade. I've got to be honest with you, these films slightly sidelined in my world. Not something I would have gone to the cinema and watched, not something I would actively go to. However, though, my young nephew, he loved them. He thought they were really cool. When you've got a little nephew who wants to watch these films, of course you're going to go and sit with them, aren't you? You're going to go watch them, aren't you? So they're how I was slightly introduced to these. And I think, well, say, Tom, you had a Rocky marathon, didn't you? Not a Rocky marathon, as in a bit shaky. You had the Rocky anthology, didn't you? When we did Rocky 4, you decided to watch Rocky 1, 2, and 3. Well, I did this. I had a bit of a longer slog on this because I had to get to number 7. So I had to do 6 films here. I did just to bring me up into the Fast and Furious world that is. And so here we are with, like we said, the 7th instalment. So they're all back, aren't they? I'd imagine. Han, he's back, isn't he?
No.
No, brilliant. Okay. Gazelle, played by Gal Gadot.
No.
She's back. No. Truck driving bearded dragon owner from number 7 or 5 or something. Is he back?
No.
Shame. Not even the bearded dragon then.
Sadly not.
Damn. Well, so some people are back on this.
Yes.
Some people. I assume Vin Diesel and so Paul Walker is back. So
Well.
definitely. Well, even that I would say is a push and a struggle, isn't it? Because unfortunately, as those people who know, even before going in to watch this at the time, sadly Paul Walker died, didn't he? He passed away.
He did indeed, very sadly. I remember seeing the news of that and going to little local car meets in his honour following his death, but obviously it was right in the middle of filming, and so they had to try and get around it, didn't they? It was very sad. So yeah, they had to sort of rope in his brothers and one of the other actors in this film to sort of body double, do some CGI to sort of try and finish the film essentially for him, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think we'll go into it a little bit as we go along. There's certainly a whole subject matter on that, and certainly a lot of YouTube videos, isn't there, and behind the scenes of how they actually did it. But essentially, like you said, Paul Walker didn't manage to finish the film, so they had to try and finish it. But biggest question we're asking is, are we a little bit tired of the Fast and Furious? Have we waned off the idea of our guys and our fast cars and everything? Certainly, going back watching this from the original Fast and Furious, It's a very different movie, isn't it? With it.
Yeah, night and
yes,
day.
yeah. Yes, it is.
Night
Tom.
and day, and weirdly, it gets even more night and day the further along in the franchise you go. But
It certainly
the
is.
point of this is to see: is this a point where we start to have enough, or is this sequel still, speeding off into the horizon of excellence? Should we find out?
Who knows? We'll find out. Shall we deep dive?
Let's do it.
Well, so we open with Jason Statham, don't we? Who's playing Deckard Shaw, the brother of Owen Shaw, if I'm right.
Yep, who does make a cameo in the film
Yeah,
as an unconscious body.
he's just sort of very, very ill and broken and sort of in a hospital.
He's
yeah.
doing very well for somebody thrown out of a plane at high speed.
So those who don't know, the previous movie had Owen Shaw being chucked out of a plane, didn't he? People just assumed he died. We didn't see a body, but in true Fast and Furious style,
He's alive!
No one dies in this. Yeah, he's alive, and his brother, played by Jason Statham, who's Deckard, Decker, is it Deckard?
Deckard. What a weird name.
I mean, what an awkward name now. That's
Sorry
going
to
to be
anyone
say
who
through
listens
this.
to this who is called Deckard, but
Yeah, Deckard.
that is
We'll call him
an unusual
Deckard,
name.
right? But so Deckard, he's not very happy what's happened to his brother. He wants some revenge. It's all about family. This is going to be a recurring theme through this.
He's an angry man in this film, is he? I mean, he's
Yeah.
gone into hospital to see his brother, and he's killed a lot of people.
I mean, everyone in the hospital, hasn't he? He's killed.
Yeah, and then he threatens to kill what doctors and nurses are surviving if they don't, look after his brother. And then right at the end, as he's walking out the hospital, there's that one, I don't know, armed security. I don't know
It's
who it is.
like a SWAT
Is he
team, doesn't it? It looks like,
But it's
yeah.
based in London. But it looks
Yeah.
like I did some research, and it looks like none of our special forces and none of our police forces have anything uniforms like that. So I don't know
No.
what it's meant to be. Some sort of black ops unit, maybe. That one injured guy who he gives a grenade to and pushes him into the nurse and doctor and just blows him up.
Yeah,
For
so
no obvious reason other than the fact that he's probably a bit of an arse.
I'd say he's not coming back from that one, is he? No chance of redemption on that. Or maybe not. Who knows? We will find out maybe
We
later
will.
in the franchise. But he done some bad things. Not good.
But did you know, originally Jason Statham was offered to play Owen Shaw in the sixth film,
So-
but due to other films that were going on, he couldn't make it. He could only make the cameo right at the end.
So we're not going to get too much into the whole plot device of this, to be absolutely honest with you. It's very confusing as a franchise on whole, because I believe that Tokyo Drift, the third outing to all of us, is actually technically the 6.5 outing or something, somewhere in the middle of the franchise.
So in terms of chronological order, take out number 3, move everything before 7 to the left, and then insert number 3. So number 3 is actually number 6.
So already we need a chalkboard or some sort of whiteboard to
Work out
describe
what's
where
going
we
on.
are on the timeline. Hence why the previous films we did, as I mentioned, Han was alive, and we think, hold on a minute, he's supposed to be dead. However, though, now we're getting the events of the third film, aren't we? And Han is dead. And
Sadly
so
so.
forth, so we'll get to that. Vin Diesel is back. Obviously, Dominic Toretto. Am I right in thinking
You are indeed, yep.
Yeah, he's got an amnesia girlfriend, hasn't he, Letty? She can't remember stuff. So in the previous instalment, again, there's a lot of backstory to this that we probably spend too long on.
There's
but
a lot of weaving previous events into this
Yeah.
film. Essentially, she was in a car crash. She lost her memory. She doesn't remember anything with Dom, and the events of the previous film are sort of leading up to number 7, where she's trying to figure out what's gone on. He's trying to get her memory back, and I actually quite like some of how they handled it. But I'll come
Right.
on to that in a bit. But initially, they're driving to this place called Race Wars.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Which
what
she
you
has
want to do.
no
innit?
memory of.
Yeah.
She's got no memory of that whatsoever. And yeah, it's at Race Wars where I've discovered that Dominic Toretto has some sort of weird superpower
Oh, right.
where he can predict that someone's going to break their car. And I don't know how you do that. I mean, I'm not by any means a car man. I don't understand how you could predict exactly when someone's going to break their car on a drag race.
I mean, I would probably understand. I imagine there's fine-tuned, quite like mechanics out there who can listen to an engine and understand, that there's
Yes.
something going on and going, oh, you might want to get that sorted. I don't know whether that's a superpower or not. I think that's just general knowledge, isn't it, of mechanics.
We're going to weave this into
and
Marvel
listening to
now.
sounds that you're familiar with over time. But he takes us to this car wars thing, whatever. This in the middle of the kind of a rally, isn't it, in the middle of the desert?
Yeah.
And let's just, I mean, we're going to have to talk about it. I don't really want to talk about it. I mean,
Neither
there's
do
an
I.
incredible
I know what
amount
you're
of.
going to say.
You know what I'm going to say. The amount of bikini and flesh that's on order in it here. It's quite incredible.
For a film that isn't that old, it's very sexualized.
It is very. They kind of know it, and they are now abusing this to the absolute max. I feel in this film. There's some very outdated depictions of young women, and it doesn't shy away from it. May I add?
It really doesn't, and it again is cringy to watch.
Yeah, I felt uncomfortable with it, which is very odd. Because I try and sit back and think about my little teenage nephew. He was probably enjoying it quite a lot, you know, and it was very for him, but very dated. And doesn't sit well. Yeah, but she has a little bit of a burnout, doesn't she? And she didn't, which is all about her memory, isn't it? She's struggling with that. And what better to cheer yourself up by going visiting your own gravesite?
So
yeah,
this is the bit that I sort of actually kind of liked what they did, is that, you know, Dom's gone there with a sledgehammer to smash up the grave and sort of put an end to it. And Letty's recognition of like, no, don't do that, because that is, for her, the day that she did die, because she doesn't have any memories before that date. It's little bits here and there. But I liked how she was saying to Dom, it's really difficult for me because you can remember everything and I can't. And I thought that was actually really well done by, you know, the film team.
she then decides she can't do it, so she
Yeah.
leaves.
Yep.
Don't worry, she'll be back in about 35 minutes. So within the film,
Long lasting.
yeah, that's not a very long, you know, but it's all a big sort of, oh, she's gone, will she be back? Oh, who knows? And basically we're riding ourselves through the three main characters in it, and we meet Brian, don't we?
Yeah.
Played by Paul Walker, don't we? And he's doing the school run, isn't
I
he?
mean, I laughed at this, I will admit.
Did you?
Because you
I
sort
loved
of
it for
think,
different reasons.
You think he's about to go on some sort of race, and then it turns out he's just about to go the next in queue for dropping his kid off at school.
Yeah, I say dropping his kid off at school. He quite literally dropped his kid off at school, because I don't know any nursery or school where the actual teacher comes out, opens the door, unstraps your kid, lifts them out, carries them, picks up their lunchbox, and walks them into the school when he didn't even get out of the car.
I know, it's weird.
I know, I've done this. I remember doing the school run, and it definitely wasn't like that. There's a lot of pulling and shoving and still putting my son's shoes on, and carrying him in and stressing out. I was half in my my work uniform and everything. It was crazy. And then, you know, has he got this? Has he got that? You know, and you're queuing up, and oh my god, you know, couldn't find anywhere to park. Chaos. You know, so yeah, let me know where that school is or whatever, so I can take my grandkids there, because that'll be nice and easy. That will. Yeah, and we're darting around quite a bit, aren't we? We are introduced to Hobbs, aren't we? Played
Yeah,
by
we're back with him.
The Rock himself. He's back, and we meet him in an office, don't we? I assume some sort of government building, don't we? That
Yeah, some sort
he
of...
works in. I'm still not really quite sure what he actually does or who he works for.
Well, he's a DSS agent, isn't he? Which is...
DSS agent. This sounds like that sounds like in this country. That sounds like someone who does your taxes.
It's not quite that.
No, I mean
It's
he was stamping stuff.
Well, no, he was doing a lot of manual stamping, which I don't think has been done for quite a long time, but there we go. The Diplomatic Security Service.
Diplomatic Security Service. Okay, so which
So
means
it's
he can sort of get
fancy-
out of jail for free card. He
fancy
can go
police.
anywhere in the world. Yeah.
Well, he certainly seems to portray that in the film, doesn't he? As sort of
No.
doing whatever he wants.
But he's doing some old-fashioned paperwork. He's stamping wanted files, isn't he? All them computers, all that modern tech, you know, modern office workplace, and he's doing some paper filing. Nice. 'Cause that's what you do, don't you?
Traditional.
And he's working late.
Very
Yeah.
late, 'cause everyone else is gone apart from Elena. She's back again.
This is Vin Diesel or Dominic Toretto's ex, isn't it? Yeah.
Briefex, yeah, from number 5.
Right. Who? Yeah. I mean, that's a love triangle on its own, isn't it? To sort of kind of
Yep.
work out, which is again. So we've got lots of characters coming in, and this office, this government building, security super shit, isn't it? Really, to be honest with you, isn't it?
There is none.
There is none.
Because
There's nothing at all.
I mean, they walk outside, and there's just nobody around. And when you know Hobbs walks back in, Deckard's just at his computer.
No scan card, no passcode. You walk out of the office, a full glass front, into the street, and like you say, Deckard just turned up, and he walked in,
Hanging around.
and decided to start using his computer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, great. I mean, bearing in mind security is one of the words in their title.
What I find really weird is that, Hobbs is meant to be this big, DSS agent, super, into law enforcement and that sort of thing, and he's got somebody accessing his computer. And instead of just jumping in there and fighting him and dealing with it, he's like, I'll let him get the information he needs first.
Let's have a little chat
Yeah.
first before...
Stop him? Because you don't know what he's doing.
Shoot him.
Well, he can't shoot because he's left his gun gun,
yeah.
hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
Again,
yeah.
which is really good for law enforcement. Just leave your gun hanging on your chair. Like, so much for being prepared at all times and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and then we have, a fist fight, don't we, between both of them, and they're chucking each other around. I find it a little bit boring, to be honest with you. There's a lot of this in this film. Bearing in mind, I think the cars are supposed to be the stars, aren't they, in this? And obviously we've got some big players in here, but I think generally the fighting is a bit... I'm just bored. I could just turn it on, I'd go and do something, go make a cup of tea while that's going on until that's finished. I'm sure some people might tell me different. They might say, well, actually, it's quite good. There's some good little bits in there. And that. Okay.
I did quite like the shot where he sort of flips him over, does he? And the camera sort of follows it. So,
yes, there is, isn't there?
That was quite interesting.
Yeah,
I quite like that way.
Okay, so there's some little bits in there that are quite, quite clever that they've decided to put in, make it a bit more interesting. What I feel in this film now is, by the time we're now in this franchise, we're doing superhuman things now, aren't we?
Yeah, because Elena's shown up at some point. They're fighting Deckard. He throws a grenade, and they get blown out the window.
And come hurtling off about 50 floors to a car, and everyone's fine.
But he's got to have done 5 or so floors there.
Some of it you can take a pinch of salt. It's a film at the end of the day, isn't it? And I think even at this point, we've already seen stuff like this before, so it's almost like, well, this is more of the same.
Yeah, I think obviously in Fast and Furious films, there's always that bit of suspension of disbelief, but at least some of it you sort of sit and go, yeah, that could maybe, yeah,
maybe a man can survive eight floors into a car.
I think this is the film for me where I started thinking, yeah, no. I mean, I suppose number 6 had it with the whole tank shooting, launching him across the thing, but I could sort of tolerate it. And I think this is the film where they start to take the mick.
I think you've hit the word tolerate is pretty much I've tolerated enough here, to be honest with you. So Hobbs seems to be out of it, doesn't he?
He's
a little bit, doesn't he? But we venture back to Brian's house, don't we? Where he's got a very nice little house, and randomly someone has delivered a parcel, haven't they, from Tokyo?
Yes.
Or something. The most largest package ever, and has just placed it on the porch, and no one's interested in finding out what it is, or who sent it, whether anyone was expecting anything.
Well, they just assume it's from Han, don't they?
Do they?
Yeah, because
is he sending packages that large?
Well, they think he's sending car
noodles
parts or something.
Across?
They just see his address from Tokyo and they just assume it's Han because they know he's there.
Oh, right.
But then they get a phone call, don't they? Mr. Statham revealing his plans slightly and allowing them to escape.
So we have a big bomb go off, basically, which I thought was quite a good explosion, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I know you get, but I like the bit. I actually quite like this bit. I like that when Brian realizes, and quickly slams the door to the car, protecting his son, and then he gets absolutely pulverized into the glass, doesn't he, from the explosion blast. I kind of like that.
I liked it as well.
I kind of thought that was pretty cool. That made his character look really smart, and Ursa as well. The special effects and it going off and everything. It was quite cool. That was quite good. I like that. I did like that. That brought me back into the film again. But we're going to go meet Hobbs, aren't we? He's in hospital from this massive fall that we mentioned earlier on, didn't he?
And he's doing all right. But do you notice there's one point where there's a few little scenes where he's in hospital, and in one of them he's watching a college football game, American football game.
Yeah.
So, the one that they play with their hands, because that's what you do in football. But the footage of the college game is actually footage of Dwayne Johnson when he used to play it. So there we go.
Oh wow, that's a nice little heart back, isn't it?
It's a nice little Easter egg.
Yeah, that is a good little thing. Yeah, he's in there, and then Dom's come to see him, hasn't he?
He has indeed, yeah.
And can I just say the acting in this is atrocious. There is nothing that the stuff that they're talking about, aren't they? I don't even know who even speaks like this, isn't it? It's just odd. They act like they're giving out weird pieces of like ancient knowledge randomly at times. I mean, one time he says, "They say you live in the hearts of the ones you leave behind." It's no relevance any what they're talking about. You've turned up here to talk about like Shaw, that he's gonna come and kill you. You know. Why are we talking?
The dialogue. This is not to sit here and say I'm some sort of master writer, but the dialogue in this film is weird because sometimes it's like weird philosophical stuff.
Yeah.
Then you get occasional little gems of like, oh, this is actually quite good, and then you get like Oscar-nominated actors just shouting one-word lines every few moments.
I just find overall on this, whoever was writing this, I don't know. They just put some words together on some paper, and maybe they were writing it as they went along. I have no idea. But yeah, just excruciating. I found between them. There's no chemistry, nothing. Awful, you know. But there you go. And it's at this point, I think, somewhere along the line, we kind of marry up to Tokyo Drift, don't we? Because Han has been killed, hasn't he?
He has been killed by Deckard.
Which was officially the third film, wasn't it? But now, timeline has caught up with itself, hasn't it? And
Yes.
We are at Han's funeral, and we're back in the car after the funeral. Dom's got somewhere to go, hasn't he? And he plays a game of chicken, doesn't he? With Jason Statham's character, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I did not like this at all.
No.
This actually really frustrated me because there's no logic between these two men who, admittedly, they want to kill each other, fine, deciding to just drive their cars at high speed towards each other.
Exactly.
Because why? What's to be gained from this?
There's a sort of standoff. I think they were trying to portray that these guys are equal or something. These are like, I mean, even Jason Statham says, "You don't mess with my family." There's lines of that or something. So you picked on the wrong family, and everyone's talking about his family, and then Dom's talking about his family, isn't he? So now we're led to believe that there's families at war or something. I don't know. It doesn't give over that.
Becoming. It's kind of. It's just a bit pants, really. And what I quite like is the fact that so Dom comes out of his car and he's carrying a sledgehammer, because who doesn't carry a sledgehammer around in the front seat of their car?
Nice, yeah.
And then Deckard comes out and
to
just
a funeral.
Yeah. Go to a funeral with my sledgehammer.
Yeah.
And then Deckard comes out and just points a gun at him and says, "What, did you think this was going to be a street fight?" And at that point I was going, yeah, just shoot him.
Yeah.
Just shoot. He
points a gun at him, didn't he?
The cliche when good guys and bad guys, normally at the end of a film, stand there and have a face-off and go, actually, should we just have a fist fight? God, it's boring. It's so dull.
Yeah.
And at that point I was like, just end this franchise and shoot him. And then we can just go, cool, well, there we go, Deckard's won.
In the franchise and shoot Vin Diesel.
No, not in real life, but like just shoot the character.
Live, shot on set.
No.
In this franchise by killing off the main character.
Yeah, kill off the character, not the actor.
The end.
I like Vin Diesel. But
Yeah.
the franchise, like, just shoot him. You don't need to fight him.
Yeah.
Just end it. Like
We have moments of stupidity like that, don't we? I mean, we could say that we've seen that in multiple films, haven't we? I mean, probably mostly all the James Bond films.
I mean, Expendables 2 is another one.
Yeah,
My continuing reference of Expendables films every now and again.
I know. I mean, they always have that thing, don't they, where they say, "Oh, we're going to reveal the entire plan to you, Mr. Bond, and then we will probably shoot you later on." Where realistically, you would have just shot him, wouldn't you? Because he's a threat, isn't he? He's a massive threat.
I will love it a day when a film is made and a good guy and bad guy and they're sort of having their face off. One of them just shoots the other one.
Bang, gone.
It's like they were setting it up for in Raiders of the Lost Ark, weren't they?
Okay.
When that guy comes out with a sword and starts doing all his swishy
Yeah, he
stuff.
does, doesn't he? Yeah.
And you go, "Oh, we can have some sort of fight," and he just goes, "Nah," shoots him.
Bang.
Yes, do that.
Yeah, I ain't got time for this.
Because that's what you would. You haven't got time for this.
I've got time for this. He's got a sword. I've got a gun.
I'm gonna win.
I'm gonna remove you from the situation.
Yeah.
Bosh, done. Yeah, classic bit of cinema.
Exactly, a classic bit of cinema, because he's just doing exactly what everyone would do. If he doesn't do that, if he puts his gun down and goes, "Oh, I'll fight him with my whip," you're going to sit there and go, "Why?
Why?
Why would you do that?
You wouldn't do that.
Why would
No.
you put yourself in danger when you could just end it and go home?"
Yeah, maybe the James Bond ones get away with that a little bit more. They do because it's plot device, isn't it? You need to know what the bad guy's going to be up to.
But you can only
and
get
stuff,
away with
and-
it for so much.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, anyway, that seems annoying. And then Kurt Russell randomly turns up, doesn't he?
He does as Mr. Nobody, or apparently that's what he says. You can call me. Brilliant, stupid, rubbish. Don't like that. I like Kurt Russell a lot. I honestly was shouting at the screen, and I was like going, "What are you playing at? What are you doing? I remember you from Escape from
Apparently,
New York."
they actually tried to get
You know.
Denzel Washington in this film.
You can see why Denzel Washington didn't turn up. This is far too low bar for him. He's high. He's better than that. Yeah, massively. He would have acted his socks off and would have outshone everyone.
And that wouldn't be hard for him, because he's
No.
so good.
Yeah, and it's just more chatting shit and dialogue and more special operation. Oh, there we go. We go to a special operations base, don't we?
We do,
You know?
and we learn a bit about the plot, don't we? So basically, this
Yeah.
person called Ramsey has created a super surveillance thing which can access all cameras in the world, phones,
Yeah.
CCTV and all that, and
Super
find people.
magic tech, as I call
It's
it.
called God's Eye,
God's eye.
and they need to go and get her back. She's fallen into the wrong hands. So they're at this very fancy military base.
Our film moved from its plot device to revenge. What we've had at the beginning of someone who wants to avenge their brother and what Dominic Toretto has done to him. We are now in treasure hunt season, aren't we? Aren't we? And also rescue mission season, aren't we?
Yeah, it's sort of got a bit weird because Kurt Russell wants their help to rescue Ramsey, and in return he said, "Well, I'll help you find Deckard so you can kill him."
I would say it's a very good deal, to be honest with you.
No.
Yeah, everyone wants to kill everyone,
Everyone's
or
very
just go
angry.
about his business. I don't know really. So they've been given the slight side mission, haven't they, to go and get
Side quest.
this bits of side quest, everyone, to get this God's Eye hacker and bits of kit or whatever to give to Mr. Nobody, who will then
I mean,
help
he does try to sweeten the deal, doesn't he, Mr. Nobody,
Yeah.
by offering some beer.
What the hell is going on? What? Oh, guys, try not to swear. Honestly, I
You're
really
not doing
am.
a very good job.
I know I've already sworn far too much so far.
No,
But
'cause in the middle of this big high-tech... this bit that they're in is essentially like a warehouse workshop, isn't it? Everyone's
they're on the ground. That's where all the
everyone's doing-
vehicles are and the planes are and everything. It's in the hangar, and someone's coughed up like what can only be a small. What's it? I don't even know what it is. It's like some
small
sort of
brewery, isn't it?
yeah, home brew going on. Yeah, like hold on, come and have a look what I'm doing here. You know, like who is this?
He's just got some Belgian ale, isn't it, on tap in the middle of the workshop.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then-
hello, sir. I've decided to take up home brewery.
But then you notice that none of the soldiers working on the cars are doing it with a pint.
No. And he's going, "Do you want to try this? Oh, it's really good." And I mean, at one point, I thought Vin Diesel was going to turn to the camera and say, "That's a refreshing Coors Light, which I love," or and nothing tastes better than a whatever brand.
Well, no, because he's big on the Corona, isn't he? Because then, for reasons unknown, and it must be most recent, Kurt Russell then pulls out a bucket of ice containing some Corona bottles.
Yeah.
Which soldier was tasked with waiting till Vin Diesel arrives
Yeah.
to then bring out the Corona?
Yeah. Hi there. Have you loaded up the guided missiles and everything and checked all the Humvees and all
Yes, I've
everything
done
else?
that. Yes, I've done that. Sir.
But can we please make sure we've got some Corona on ice?
Yeah.
Can we? What the hell? It's just this film, mate. It's just outstanding where it goes.
I start to wonder if the cars are like a secondary plot device just to sell Corona.
Yeah,
Because it's just continuous.
I
in
love
these
product
films.
placement. Don't get me wrong, and some of it is very obvious and on the nose. But good lord,
Very obvious.
but I mean, they crowbarred that in. I mean, it's like they had nowhere to put it, and they went, "Here will do." Jesus, unbelievable. Anyway, so there's a plan, and
I mean, we say plan.
I mean, good.
That's a
I mean, where do we start with? I don't even know where they are now. Are they in the same place where he says, "I've got some of your crew together"?
Oh, he's got everyone, including
Yeah.
Letty. Well, those that are still alive, obviously.
How it's initiated and when they're talking around that table, I find it. Again, I've mentioned it's excruciating, but good lord, there's some forced comedy in there here and there.
Forced comedy.
Oh, But it's like
it's awful.
someone is setting up the joke so someone can say the joke. The military personnel are all playing it like they don't know what they're doing, but yet these guys do know what they're doing, and
in amongst all of this weird plan, Roman then decides that he wants to be in charge. All of these characters I find have something genuine to bring to the team, except Roman.
No.
And that is proven in the next sequence, which will come on to this whole mountain chase thing, that Roman's kind of pointless.
He is the comic relief that's been added in.
Except he's not a comic.
I mean, as he's a fairly lively and happy guy, isn't he? I think some of his lines are fairly delivered okay. I don't, but the setup and the beginning and the end of it is atrocious.
Yeah, no, it's not there to criticise the acting side of it. It's just like the actual comedy side of it is not funny. The film acknowledges in itself that he's not actually needed, because whilst they all parachute out the plane in their cars and somehow, and I'd like a physics professor to explain it to me, they all land on the road despite not being able to control their parachutes. They all land perfectly on the road that they need to be on, rather than crashing into a tree or the side of a mountain. Except Roman, who then just floats away and is not needed at all in this. Like, he's not needed. He turns up randomly and saves the day, yes, but it just goes to show. So he wasn't actually even needed for their mission.
No, he's literally crowbarred in to be that kind of
a gag.
A gag is a bit sad, isn't it? Really, that it had no real purpose. Like you say, if he wasn't in it, they would have still succeeded and still done what they needed to do.
Yeah. Interestingly, that parachute scene was mostly filmed practically.
Really?
They actually filmed...
It didn't look too bad.
No, they did film with cameras on parachutes, filming the cars.
Really?
I mean, and fair play. That's
Fair
actually
enough.
pretty good. I do like that.
So yeah, this is probably our first big sequence, isn't it? That we've got. It's quite long as a truck, isn't there? And a thing. And I didn't mind it. I thought it was quite all right actually. Really, as an action sequence. I felt that this. I mean, I might be wrong. Fast and Furious fans will go, no, Ross, it's not. There's, but I felt this was the closest we're going to get to Fast and Furious, if you get what I mean. Material.
Yeah.
Like cars
in terms
chasing
of cars,
on a road.
Yeah.
Guns going off, them having to use their car skills to sort of...
This sort of defines Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I found that there's someone, they've got to get them out of the truck, and so they're going to use all their clever little, sort of gadgets and gizmos and rarity. They haven't got magic, grenade pucks and all those kind of things and stuff, and that, so...
I'm going to be annoying though and come along and say there's quite a few things I do have issue with in this.
Go for them.
Number one, the inconsistency of the convoy vehicles.
Oh.
So at the start we see there's 3 4x4 sort of, I think they're Mercedes G-Wagons, and 3 Mercedes Saloons. Now at various points some of them are knocked out, and yes, we see some of them rejoin, but then some drive off the road, and there's always more than there were originally. Like at some point the front 2 vehicles drive off into the mountains, and later on there's another 4x4 in front of it. Where'd that come from? Also, there's a key bit. So this coach that Ramsey's in is outfitted with 6 cannons, essentially, aren't they? Huge machine guns. And when they fire accidentally on one of their escort vehicles and launch it off the side of the cliff through the firepower, you sit there and go, yeah, makes sense. It's just been hit by 3 heavy machine guns, and it destroys the Mercedes and detonates it off the side of the road. Yet when they do the same to Brian's car, he just comes off the accelerator and gets out of the way. Like, I know, I don't think they built Subarus that well to be able to sustain that much fire.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
Like, how the bullets have different effects depending on the car you're driving.
But yeah, again, it's back to that suspension of disbelief, isn't it? It's taking, that's one thing we'll see in this film all the way through. It's taking it to the max and it to the limit.
I'm going to say it's going a bit over the limit, really.
And that's the problem. It's slipping. It's already sliding, isn't it? It's not
like
holding.
If he'd have seen them and gone, whoa, slammed on the brakes and just avoided them being shot at, fair enough. I'm on board. But he took a lot of rounds and was okay.
Yeah. Every single one missed him. So we get this sequence anyway, and the truck is being torn apart and everything, and they're using all their skills, and we eventually find what is a young girl being held hostage in it, which obviously we assume that is Ramsey, isn't it?
It is Ramsey.
And she is played by Nathalie Emmanuel, she is. those people who enjoy the UK TV show Hollyoaks, which turns up quite a bit on our podcast and that of actors and actresses. She was in that, and she was also in Game of Thrones.
She
as
was
well,
indeed, yeah.
And that, so she's done very well for herself. Certainly as a British actress,
Yeah.
getting into two real big old franchises and a hit TV series. Well done, her. I quite like her. I think she's really good. I think
she plays it
I
really
like her
well.
accent, and I like her. Definitely, I think her acting is far beyond some of the others in this damn film.
But I do like the chemistry she shares with the character of Tej. Played by Ludacris. I think they seem to get on quite well, and they sort of bounce off each other really well. 'Cause they're both tech people in the film, and I think that was quite nice.
Yeah,
I'm not so sure I like the plan of getting off the coach, which was just to throw her onto the bonnet of a moving car.
Yeah,
But it's the same as getting Paul Walker on the coach. Like,
Yeah.
we'll have him drive his own separate car, then get out of it, steer using presumably the Force,
Yeah.
and jump in. Like, did they not have a better plan? Like, why don't you be passenger, and I'll drive you up to the back, and then you could jump into it.
It's a bit wild, isn't it, to say at least, isn't it? They manage to save her, don't they? In the end, there's some more sequences and stuff.
A little nod to like the Italian Job coach scene.
I'll be honest with you. Whilst it's got many flaws in it, I kind of enjoyed it. I did. I found it the best action bit in this film. I'll be absolutely honest with you.
Because
I think
it felt. This is sort of more what Fast and Furious as a franchise should be about. Is about cars and fast. It was more of a heist thing, which is what the first film was always about: fast cars and doing heists.
Paint by numbers, good little action sequence, everyone involved.
I mean, everyone's involved because we then meet another bad guy, Jakande, who's played by Jimon Honsu.
Great actor and friends of the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's Oscar nominated.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, damn, he was underutilized in this film. Awful dialogue they gave him.
I can't even remember he had any dialogue.
He did have some dialogue, but it was mostly just him shouting, "What? Fire!" That was it. One word dialogue. It was awful. And it's like, you've got an Oscar nominated fantastic actor, and this is what you wrote for him.
I'd really recommend anyone having a look at his biography of where he came from. I would. We won't go into it now, but if you're out there and you're interested in him, I would really Google his name and have a look at how he became an actor and stuff and where he came from. It's quite an amazing story of how he's gone from a real rags to riches kind of level. Yeah, it's really good and
Also,
a
have
great
a look
actor.
have a look at his credits.
Yeah,
because this man has done some films.
well, he was very much in demand after Armistead, weren't it? As in Spielberg's film, there Spielberg knew exactly what he was doing when he recruited him. But yeah, I would recommend anyone to have a look at that. So we've managed to get Ramsey. She's safe, and we get a nice little rendezvous in a very picturesque jetty, don't we?
Yeah.
Off the river.
Yeah.
I don't know where that is, but
I like it.
but they've decided to find a very nice sort of surroundings to have a little chat and catch up and just find out just what's going on. To be honest with you, I quite like this little moment when Roman. I mean, I know we said he's only in here for comic relief, but I kind of like this little bit of comic relief where he's clearly going, well, actually, no, I'm the alpha. I'm the one in charge, and she's already said, well, no, you're the Joker.
I trust you. Now, why would you trust us? You barely know us.
I know enough. Ex-cop, military, something like that. The way you took out them guys shows training. Tech guy, offended by the hacker remark, naturally. Alpha. Mrs. Alpha. Joker.
Wrong. Double alpha. Man candy. You know what I'm saying?
Man, sit your candy ass down, man.
It is. They all have their certain skills that she highlights and just gets him, and it's like, you're nothing. Like, you haven't got any skills that actually contribute.
She's almost
to this
talking
team.
for us, really, going,
Yeah.
you brought nothing to the table besides
And here's
comedy.
our special guest star for this podcast, Ramsey.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Vin Diesel's character literally goes, we're off to the Middle East.
Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, yeah. And we're off there to, which I can only think the reason we're here is to flog some cars, hotels, and some fashion labels, really, to be honest with you. Because the opening scene of it, yep, here it is, more bikini, isn't it? In your face. And someone's bikinied up Ramsey as well at the same time, haven't they, as well? So she's not even... I mean, it's like a disease, isn't it?
Yeah, but then you have that really... Again, another really cringy scene of Roman just sort of dribbling over her. And it's,
yeah.
Like,
I think even Letty says, doesn't she? She said, you're nearly double her age.
yeah.
So, back to lecherous old man stuff,
Yeah,
which is never
grim.
good.
Very grim.
No. Our narrative to this film changes again, doesn't it? So, whilst we were on a treasure hunt and then we were on a rescue mission, we're now back on a heist.
We are indeed. And they've got to go and sneak into this skyscraper to find this very expensive car within which the God's Eye device is stored. But it's okay, because luckily there just happens to be a party the next day they can go to.
I know. A very top-end, high-level party, isn't it? Where they're all going to get dressed up into some nice outfits and do some sort of heist to get it back.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I don't know why that's in a car. Again, it's that forced action that we're getting. Like, we clearly wanted to do the car going through the skyscrapers.
Oh,
I know, we're going to get to it, but, like, I know they wanted... You could see, it's almost like we want to do this stuff, but we have no idea how to get to it. So we need to create a storyline to get to the action pieces.
yeah.
I felt that Ramsey was only in that bus because we wanted to do the vehicle chase scene on the road. We only want to do the skyscraper where the car goes through the two skyscrapers and jumps. They want to do that. So the only way we can do that is we have to make the plot device fit it.
I mean, I get that they'd want to put the Lycan in this film because it's such a rare supercar. You want to highlight it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They could have put a car chase in.
Yeah.
Or something else to try and get the God's Eye. And they sort of, trying to catch this guy. And he's like, "You're not having my Lycan," and drives off in it. And they try and chase
maybe
him down.
that
And then we
through
can see...
Abu Dhabi. Yeah. Back to the streets again. So
Yeah.
that would be good, wouldn't it? Yeah, that would have been more Fast and Furious, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Fast and Furious, that's the thing. And then you could have had his personal bodyguards, who are all like expert fighters, sort of getting involved as well. Maybe they're trying to fight to get towards the car, and as they get there, he's driven off, and all these kind of things.
But we have a big fight scene, don't we, between Letty and the head of security, who I believe is played by Ronda Rousey.
Yep.
Rousey, is
Rousey.
it? Rousey, yeah. Which I have to say, I've never seen in the history of watching films two women wearing evening dresses and high heels kicking the crap out of each other, quite literally to the death.
No, I've not seen that either.
I don't think I went. I was almost perplexed while I was watching it, going, I don't think I've ever seen this. Like,
No.
this is really odd. I'm sure it might be in somewhere else, and please say in the comments if you've seen such a thing, or whatever. I don't know, with cocktail parties or anything like that, where two people have decided to proper go at it. Yeah, and we get to this bit which I know you feel exhausted on, which is the car going through the skyscrapers, isn't it?
Well, the whole car scene frustrates me. So at one point they want to try and get inside the car, and for that Dom has to essentially deadlift the car, doesn't he?
Why don't you just put something underneath it?
Now
There's loads
there
of
might be
things.
something in the physics. Again, I'm not a strong man by any time. I'm not doing deadlift competitions or whatever.
So not with cars.
No, but the car, I did some research. The Lycan weighs about 1,380 kilograms.
I love that you know that.
And I know it's on wheels, but the heaviest deadlift ever done, to the point of my research, was 500 kilograms. I don't think Dom's that strong.
Yeah, and he lifted up with quite ease, didn't he? Yeah.
And held it there for a long time. I
Yeah.
know it's on wheels, and that would probably make it a little bit easier.
Brian going underneath it.
I wouldn't go under
Based
there.
upon, he let go of that.
Squish.
Squish. He's done.
But yeah, then they have to escape, because everything's gone into lockdown. And to do that, they're going to decide we're going to drive through and between skyscrapers, which means the car must fly.
I don't know. I'm a mixed bag with this. I am, mate. I gotta be honest with you, because I watched it. I was quite hypnotised by it. Whether that was the absurdity of it, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I literally was hypnotised. Yeah, I can't explain it about it. That you sort of go, maybe you're waiting for something different to change or happen.
I would have fully respected the filmmakers if they'd have done something absolutely hilarious, which is have Dom go to drive this car for the skyscrapers, and physics just take over and it just drops out the side of the skyscraper, and they just characters plummet.
Yeah.
Like, how funny would
Yeah.
that have been if they just...
We've sort of got a
fallen-
flying car, weirdly, haven't we?
Which is referenced in the film earlier on, when Brian's son yeets his car toy out the window, and he goes, "No, cars don't fly."
You're right. Yeah.
And he says it again as they go out
I
to
didn't
drive out
realise
the
that,
window. He sits there and goes, "Dom, cars don't fly," and then it does.
Yeah, or he just hits the window and it's like super bulletproof glass that can't move, and it just crashes into the glass. That's it. It's like, oh, didn't quite work.
Yeah.
Get out of the car and then run down the skyscraper. Yeah. Producers and network and the company just wanted to see something wild that they could put into the trailer that would make people sit there and go, "What is this all about?" You know, I feel that it was, you know, it's an era of when Tom Cruise was at his peak with Mission Impossible, innit? Where I can't help but feel that they were trying to do the same thing.
But I remember watching that bit in the trailer where you sort of see them jumping between the towers.
Yeah.
And I can remember exactly what my 3-word response was.
Tell me.
Well, the first 2 words were, "What the?"
Nah, you're not going to suck. I nearly got you to say it. Yeah, so they've got God's eye, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, by this time, I'm quite exhausted. I've got to be honest with you. By this time, you're about to go and take on, which is a helicopter and drone, isn't it, in the city? I haven't wrote very much about this guy. Flipping boring. I really do.
Well, you just know they're never in danger. That's the problem.
Yeah, I've got here no stakes. Really boring. Nothing really. It's all set in the dark. There's a few little moments. We're sort of moving Ramsey, aren't we, between cars so they can't keep up with it.
Yeah.
I don't think that works at all.
Dom and Deckard do their stupid head-on thing again, don't they?
Yeah, they're fighting with a couple of pipes, aren't they? And bits of metal.
Stop unnecessarily destroying cars. 230 cars were destroyed for this film.
Were they? Good Lord.
230. Stop.
Yeah, they're causing a lot of chaos for not a lot of stake. And at one point, the helicopter, well, it goes after Dom, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. There's so much going on. I mean, at one point, Hobbs has decided he's going to get involved because they just happen to be in the city where he's in hospital. He decides to take his cast off because somehow in the last couple of days, all his broken bones have healed. The helicopter's firing. At some point, the drone's been crashed by Hobbs, has driven off a bridge and luckily hit the drone in an ambulance. And then
that was a bit odd, wasn't it?
Oh, God, it was...
The anger.
So annoying.
Yeah.
It just bothers me so much when it's like they're not even trying anymore. Like at no point do we see him tracking the drone or anything like that and hoping for the best. He just drives off a bridge and luckily the drone just happens to be there that he can crash into and pick the machine gun up off it.
Yeah. I
Like,
don't
this whole ending
feel any of
sequence-
these moments when Hobbs comes back to sign a kind of save the day. I don't feel that they were in any real trouble at that point.
No, there's you never feel like, oh no, they're not going to do it. It's just this whole ending action sequence I found to be really very dull.
Yeah.
And then you think, oh, surely it can't get any more ridiculous. Surely
Get ready, it will be.
There's nothing else that can top this. Oh yes, there is, because Dom somehow has died.
Yeah.
Despite all the stuff that's happened in this film, like him driving off a mountain and being absolutely fine, apart from like a small cut, he's now driven off a car park, much less height, and died. And then, to defy all medical knowledge and science that's ever been done, Letty comes along and decides that, no, let's stop giving him CPR, because that's not going to help. Instead, I'm going to talk to him about memory, and that will bring him back to life.
Some memory therapy will bring him back to life. I mean, what in the God's eye name is going on here? Yeah, isn't it?
And it was just like, well, this isn't going to work because, oh wait, no, he's alive. Of course he is.
He come back to life because he remembers Letty, or her words of wisdom have said, and everybody's relieved. Everyone's just standing around. Honestly, you would just sit there and just go, excuse me, mate, I'm not being funny. Should we call an ambulance or something? Should we get this man? Because he's not breathing. He's not conscious.
He's dead.
He's currently dead at the moment. We need to bring him back somehow. So let's keep
Have you tried talking to him?
Yeah. Oh, go on then. Do you reckon you'd get that on the phone call if you rung medical services? Have a chat with him. See if remind him of some good
My mate's
times.
just giving CPR at the moment. What do you do next? No, stop that. Just have a chat.
Have a chat about what's going on. About life, about a bit of nostalgic throwback. Yeah.
It is like they sort of everything that they could possibly do and gone, right, how can we make this
They
stupid?
could put our podcast on, couldn't he? Yeah, that's what they do. Go, listen to this. It's a nostalgic look back on
Yeah.
films. This will bring you back to life. Yeah.
There you
Serving
go.
the
We're now
community,
gonna-
everyone. Serving the community.
Burning Cinemas, here for you in your darkest medical need hours.
If you're about to die, listen to this podcast. No, don't do that.
No, that's actually a very poor advertisement. We
I
take
mean,
that
it's
back.
up to you what you do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
If you do, we'll be honoured.
Yeah, we will. Thank you very much. He comes back to that. That was awful, wasn't it? Oh
God, it was
I mean,
so-
I mean, I think that was almost the last nail in the coffin. I want to say, good Lord, I'm done. This is good. I don't even. I'm lost for words. I'm stuttering. More so than I normally do. But we do get an end scene, don't we? We do. We have a lovely picnic on the beach.
Do you know what?
Don't we?
Yes, and I try my best not to poo-poo my way through every single film. And I'm going to sit here and go, this ending sequence, I liked.
Yeah.
It was really quite beautiful. The lovely song is playing, and I was there a little bit of feelings.
I think it hits a little bit harder because, like we mentioned before, Paul Walker died mid-filming between this, right? So I'd imagine the actors and actresses, whilst they'd filmed pretty much most of their scenes with him, there were still some scenes to be done. And it's kind of fitting in some way that the audience knows. I mean, we get a little montage, don't we, of previous Fast and Furious films with Paul Walker, which was nice.
Really, very nice.
Of him. And I think it's a kind of fitting tribute to him at the end.
It's a very fitting tribute. It's
Just
well
very
done.
sad that it's at the end of this atrocious film.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
But
this just about holds it in, doesn't it?
This is like the glue of the film, really, because it was very nice. It was actually really well done, really well executed. I mean, even that white Toyota Supra that they use, that was Paul Walker's car.
Wow.
It was really nice. And I sat there and thought, yeah, you've done this really well. This is the perfect place, actually, now, with this sequence, to end this franchise. Like, the remaining people, they're happy, they're free, their families are happy.
Exactly.
Lovely. Let's call it a day.
And I'll be honest with you, if I'd not, whilst we know there's more to come, if you didn't know that, I would have said this is the end.
Stop now.
There's nothing left to do. You've done everything. We know that the actual, actor who played the character has now officially died. So we know now know that whilst you brought him back using very clever CGI and mapping,
Which
on
was
his
very
building,
well done.
which I think at no point through this film did I ever feel that Paul Walker wasn't in it.
No.
So if someone asked me, tell me the parts where he wasn't in it, I couldn't tell you.
No, again, giving credit, 'cause we've got to be balanced as much as we can be. Credit the filmmakers, they really nailed managing this situation. Like, they've used scenes from previous films, dialogue from other scene bits.
Yeah.
Using his brother, CGI, one of the other actors.
I know they'd changed some of it as well and removed him from certain scenes and then refilmed those scenes again without him in the background or part of it. I get that. That would probably have been the better option rather than spend loads of money and trying to digitise him in, and do that. They got away with it, and I thought, that's quite fitting, really. Better than, say, some other films have done it, which it has happened before, where people have passed away, unfortunately. And, yeah, I'd say his family has got a nice fitting end. Unfortunately, it wasn't the end, was it? Because there were more, weren't there, made?
And somehow,
yeah,
they get even more unbelievable.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think was possible.
Which is a thing for another podcast, isn't it?
It is.
And so, well, that was Fast and Furious 7. So it's all over. Thank God. I mean, I was exhausted from that, to be honest with you. Not just not this podcast, but watching it. Jesus,
Yes.
I was not ready for it, to be honest with you. Whilst I'd seen it before many years ago when it first came out, I don't know, mixed feelings. I don't really took it on board. I didn't really. This is probably the first time we've ever done it in this capacity. So looking at it completely different eyes. Oh, mostly anger and frustration for me throughout this. And I think everybody can understand, for the tone of mine and Tom's voice, it was a slog.
Yeah, it was a bit painful, this one. And it was weird because I didn't want it to be. Knowing that this was Paul Walker's final film, I didn't want it to be.
Yeah.
But I have to look outside of that and go, franchise fatigue, burning cinema, what we here for, how's it fared up? I mean, out of all of this, do you have a favourite bit?
I'm absolutely struggling. I did sit there and think some of the action sequence. I was trying to look at them because there's quite a few in this. Is there anything in there that I think, well, actually, I quite enjoyed? But then the moment I started enjoying it, the next minute I'm hating it. Which then the hate turns to anger, turns into suffering. No, that was the previous podcast, wasn't it? But you get what I mean. It just, I don't think. Do you know what? Letty's dress was lovely. There you go. That's what I've got to take away from this film.
Oh my god.
Okay, her dress was very nice. It was a mixture of absolute right level of sexiness and class. I like it.
Well, I'm gonna stick with my favourite bit was the final sequence. That was the bit that I thought, this is good.
Oh, the homage to
And that was probably the only bit of the film that I thought this is good.
The end was the best bit.
Yeah,
which you've said before in other podcasts. I enjoyed it. The end, which now finally finished.
I think for me, also we'll come on to the flame rating shortly, but for me, the franchise fatigue. Are we getting tired? For me, this is the point where I am tired of this franchise. Like, throughout it, I know there's ups and downs of Fast and Furious, and ones I've really loved, ones I've not liked quite so much. You'll find out my opinion on this shortly. This is like the point for me where you're going to, you get those all-you-can-eat buffets, and you get more and more full, but you're still tolerating it. This is the point where you're starting to feel really quite unwell and gone, I actually am now, I'm done. I have now consumed way too much.
For the sake of eating.
Yes. Yeah. So at other points, get the first one, it's like, I'll eat as much as I can, and you take it all in. This franchise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's like, you're getting fuller, but it's okay. 7 is the point where it's like, I'm going to be sick now. Is this franchise tired at this point? Yes. If they'd have done 1 to 6, I could tolerate that. It's like, yeah, that's pretty good. End 6 in a nice round way, job done.
Yeah.
This is the point for me where it turns and goes, I'm not that interested anymore.
It's a shame, isn't it? It had a good run, I think, and the concept, I still believe even now, the concept is still there.
Absolutely.
I think if you made another one now, has a little look at like maybe number 1, number 4, 5, 2, 3.
Even 3.
Yeah, have a little chat, look at those ones, and just have a look at what made them successful, what makes it good.
The cars.
The cars are the stars, aren't they? That's as simple as that. And I know we've discussed outside this podcast, haven't we, that there's a moment in one of the films where Hobbs says, at the time when he's after them, or he's hunting them down, he says, don't ever let them, one thing you must never do is let them get in a car. That's a great line. And that sets up the entire franchise because it says that their weapon, their superpower,
is their ability to drive.
Is all about the cars. And I kind of like that thing that you've got these bunch of people who are, whilst they not be action heroes, they shouldn't really be fighting and doing death-defying stunts. They can do death-defying stunts. They could do it in a car. Yep. The stuff that we wouldn't do in a car, that stunt drivers wouldn't do in a car, these guys are not worried about. And so you link in with that, with the same as the Abu Dhabi building, yes, it's crazy, but I still think that fits into the Fast and Furious theory, if you get what I mean. How it's executed is different, but the idea of driving a car from one building into another is very Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I think if you look at 1 to 6, a lot of it is there's car racing, there's heists involving cars. Everything is sort of centralized on cars. Cars are the main point. Yes, there's obviously the story going on around it, but the car element is the central focus. In this film, this is where the films have become way too much more of an action film as opposed to a car film. There's not enough car chases, there's not enough of that. The cars have taken a back seat. And that is the problem, I think. Yeah. The cars are no longer... if you look at the films, they spend a lot of time focusing on the cars, talking about the cars, showing the cars. We're going to a car market, let's ogle all these really expensive performance masterpieces of a vehicle. We've got a lot of that. In this, you don't. You really don't.
Yeah, this is a shame, really, isn't it? Like you say, it was Paul Walker's last outing, in this franchise, and so. But there we go. Well, we come on to what is the official flame rating, and go on, dare I ask, Tom, are you willing to go first? And
1.
1 straight in there. 1
is 1.
1 flame. Yeah, like.
Yep.
I mean, can we give out half a flame? Because can we give out smoke? just sort of. I mean,
That's
on border.
That's a 0.
Well,
That is a 0.
I
Forget
know.
that smoke and ash.
I just don't feel I can give it a 0. I don't think we've approached a film yet that warrants a 0.
No, and again, we're sort of there's still good bits in this film. We can take out, like, how well they've managed. Again, like we've already said it. How well they managed Paul Walker, the ending scene. There's some bits of it that I think deserve the praise.
I think the thing being is that would I go back and watch this?
No.
No. 100%. And I
Maybe.
don't even think I'd watch it if it would just happen to be on the TV when I've sat
No,
down.
I'd watch something
I wouldn't
else.
even bother. I'd put my headphones on.
Or
I'd
go to bed.
I'd
I'm
go
not
to
interested.
bed. I'm not that. You make me sound like, I'll have the cocoa and I'll go to bed. I'm not watching this, too noisy.
I think the only time I'd probably ever watch this again now is if, like, my little niece, when she grows up, was like wanting to watch them, and I'd sit there and watch them with her. I'd watch that.
Yeah.
But apart from that, nah, I'm done.
Franchise fatigue? Definitely fatigued on this one, isn't it? I think.
For us, yeah.
Definitely exhausted.
People
But
might think differently, but
no,
for us,
but
this is
there
it.
you go. Let us know in the comments if you do. And so we move forward in our next episode, which I'm going to bring you, Tom, something a little bit special. We're still in, obviously, franchises, as we know.
Yeah.
And again, we're going for a 7th outing again. For this one, we'll be asking how many actors can you get into a film this late in a franchise, and does it still hold up today?
Mutants, we now find ourselves on the edge of extinction. You'll need to go into the past to end this war before it ever begins.
Use your power. Bring the X-Men together.
It's going to take the two of us, side by side at a time when we couldn't be further apart.
You took the things that mean the most to me.
Maybe you should have fought harder for them.
There is a new enemy out there. Mutants. You'll need a new weapon for this war.
I know what I have to do. It's us or them.
Tom will be driving into the superhero world of the X-Men with Days of Future Past. And you can see that in 2 weeks' time. And remember, you can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and keep up to date on all the upcoming themes and episodes on our Instagram. Follow the links, send us a comment, click a like, do all the things you can do on the internet that we like. And I'd say that's all we've got time for. So it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.